Good afternoon, boys. This is synopsis for halogen derivatives of alkenes and halogen derivatives of arenes. That we would take about a little bit introduction over halogen derivatives of alkenes as well as arenes. Now, when we take these halogen derivatives of alkenes, reactivity decreasing order, we would observe alkyl halides are more reactive than alkyl bromides, than alkyl chloride, than alkyl chlorides. Then, with increasing of size of alkyl group, density decreases. With increasing of size of halogen, density increases. Therefore, the densest alkyl halide is methyl iodide. The densest alkyl halide is methyl iodide. It's one of the expected question either in NEET or in JEE. Then next, let me would take about alkyl halides. Then these alkyl halides depends on the attachment of halogen with carbon. Then primary, secondary, and tertiary alkyl halides we would observe. Therefore, ethyl bromide when we take it is a primary, and N-propyl bromide is also a primary because the primary carbon attaches with this bromine. And isopropyl bromide, bromine attaches to secondary carbon, therefore it is secondary alkyl halide. And secondary butyl bromide or 2-bromobutane, then at second position, that is carbon attached, that is bromine attaches to secondary carbon, therefore it is also called secondary butyl bromide. Then this secondary butyl bromide on this position, methyl, ethyl, bromine and hydrogen, 4 dissimilar groups are there, therefore it shows optical isomerism. And then tertiary butyl bromide, that is isopentyl bromide, bromine is there at the tertiary position, therefore it is an example of tertiary butyl bromide, or else 2-bromo-2-methyl butane we can take as a IUPAC mean. So therefore, depends on the position of halogen, then these alkyl halides are classified into primary, secondary, and tertiary alkyl halides. Then that is one kind of alkyl halides classification. And if you take bromocyclohexane, bromine attaches to secondary carbon, therefore it is secondary alkyl halide. Bromine attaches to benzene, then it is called haloarene. So therefore, haloarenes, that is bromo, benzene we would take, then it is called, it is also secondary because of secondary carbon attaches to bromine. Even though double bond is there, we would take it as carbon attachment to attached bromine. Secondary bromo, benzene. Then vinyl bromide. Here primary carbon attaches to bromine, therefore vinyl bromide is also considered as primary alkyl halide. Then next one, allyl bromide. Allyl bromide, then we would take allylic group always, it shows resonance stabilization. Allyl carbocation shows resonance stabilization, therefore allyl bromide is another kind of alkyl halide. Then this is an example of benzyl bromide. That is primary benzyl bromide, another benzene is there, secondary benzyl bromide, third benzene is there at this position, like this. 2 phenyl groups are there over it, this tertiary benzyl bromide we would take. That is, 2 phenyl groups are there, then one is there benzyl. 2 phenyl groups are there, then it is called benza. And 3 phenyl groups are there, benzo group attaches to bromine we would say. Therefore, it is tertiary phenyl, that is triphenyl methyl bromide. So therefore, with increasing of number of phenyl groups to methyl group, then reactivity also increases. Therefore, highest reactivity this one, least reactivity would observe bromobenzene. And depends on the tertiary is more reactive than secondary than primary, depends on the CH bond cleavage capacity, their reactivity go on decreases. Then benzyl bromide, then followed by allyl, then followed by bromocyclohexane, tertiary, secondary, and primary alkyl halides, they slowly decreases their reactivity, and least reactivity would observe. Then vinyl bromide, least reactivity, bromobenzene. Therefore, that is simple idea over halo alkanes as well as haloarenes. That is, then these halogen derivatives, alkanes and arenes, cannot show geometrical isomerism, but they show first one chain isomerism, positional isomerism, and optical isomerism. No question of any which kind of isomerism they cannot show. Then geometrical isomerism is not, functional isomerism is not possible. with this because of halogen. Bromine cannot changes to fluorine. Fluorine cannot changes to iodine. Therefore, they can show only this kind of isomerism shown by these halogen derivatives of alkanes, only chain position and optical isomerism. Then next we would come back to preparation of haloalkanes as well as haloarenes. Preparation when we take from alkanes. Alkanes means methane, ethane, propane. When we take, they are called alkanes. Alkanes, chlorination and bromination are exothermic as well as they follow with free radical mechanism. Methane by the chlorination use chloromethane, dichloromethane, chloroform as well as carbon tetrachloride. And chlorination and bromination follow with free radical mechanism. And chlorine and bromine selectivity changes with secondary as well as tertiary. Reactivity and selectivity both are dissimilar. Reactivity as well as selectivity are slightly dissimilar for chlorine as well as bromine. So therefore, then this chlorination and bromination follow with free radical mechanism, whereas iodination follow with ionic mechanism. Chlorine selectivity we would observe with respect to primary 1 time means secondary 3.8 and tertiary 5 times its selectivity increases. And bromine selectivity is much higher than chlorine, that is 1:82 is 1600 we would observe. Depends on the selectivity, the amount of yield we would observe these halogen derivatives of alkanes. So therefore, suppose when we take these halogen derivatives of alkanes and arenes, from alkanes we can also take, suppose when we take one of the compounds, that is let we would take as isopentane. By the chlorination we will get, these are the products we would get. One is 2-chloro-2-methyl-butane plus 2-chloro-3-methyl-butane plus 1-chloro-3-methyl-butane plus 1-chloro-2-methyl-butane we would get. This is tertiary, it is secondary, and these two are primary products. Then amount of yield depends on their selectivity formula. Therefore, tertiary selectivity we would take as only 1 chlorine is there on the tertiary position. Therefore, tertiary reactivity of chlorine is 5. Only 1 hydrogen available here, only 5 times. With respect to secondary selectivity, secondary means 2 hydrogens are there, 3.8 into 2, that is 7.6 we would observe. Primary 2 types are there. First type we would observe only these hydrogens 3 are available. 1 into 3, 3 reactivity we would observe. Primary with this is another dissimilar product from primary in this. Primary of second type, we can take total 6 hydrogens are available. 6 into reactivity of selectivity is 1 into 6, we would observe 6. Total we would take 9 plus 5, 14 plus 21.6 we would observe. Percentage of tertiary, we would observe tertiary means 5 by 21.6 into 100. You will get the percentage yield of products. Percentage yield of secondary, that secondary we would take it as 7.6 upon 21.6 into 100. You get percentage yield of product. Primary, total primary when we take, we would get, and 2 dissimilar means another one. 9 by 21.6 into 100. In this first type and second type means 3 by 21.6 and 6 by 21.6. Either depends on the selectivity of hydrogen, then product value go on changes, that is halogen derivative of alkane, monohalogen derivatives we will get by using of this model. In the same way, when we come across to from alkenes, second method we would take it from alkenes. And here only we would observe how many optical isomers are possible, how many products we would expect. Such kind of questions they would ask in JEE. That is more important than carefully have to go about alkanes halogenation. Suppose if we come across to iodination, So before going to take from alkenes, iodination means alkanes in the presence of iodine, then followed by direct iodination is reversible. Therefore, addition of HGO or HNO3 or else any other oxidizing agent. If we add over nitric acid or HGO, then those kind of oxidizing agents, when we add liberated hydrogen iodide oxidizes to iodine, therefore backward reaction is controlled, and then we would get our iodoalkanes preparation we can observe by the direct iodination of alkanes. But direct halogenation, always we would get mixture of haloalkanes, therefore it is not preferred for the preparation of halogen derivatives of alkanes. Then second one we would take from alkenes. Alkenes when we take, here suppose when we take, this is one of the components, that is 3-methyl 1-butene. Here we would observe two types of mechanisms. Addition of HBr. Direct HBr addition we can identify here H plus, that is suppose if we take 1-butene. 1-butene by the addition of HBr. There we can identify is the major product we would get, and another product we would get minor products, because it follows with electrophilic addition mechanism. H plus after addition, secondary carbocation we would get. Secondary carbocations are more stable than primary. Then there we would observe secondary gives major, primary gives minor product. Then here addition of H plus on asymmetric alkanes, it follows with Markovnikov's rule. Markovnikov's products we would get like this. Carbocation mechanism follows. Is there any neighboring group participation, and hydride, methyl or phenyl shift take place, or methylene is there, methylene also shift take place. Methylene is very easily shifted than phenyl, than methyl, than hydride we would observe. That is one of the important points for rearrangement reactions with hydrogen bromide addition. Then suppose if you come across to hydrogen bromide followed by hydrogen peroxide or Parash effect or anti-Markovnikov's rule. And here we would observe again two products. 1-bromo-butane, that it follows with bromine free radical generates initial attacks, and here we would observe secondary free radical gives, that is bromine after addition. From this bromine free radical generates by the addition of any hydrogen peroxide or alkyl peroxides or benzoyl peroxides. Bromine free radical attacks on the double bond carbon, and secondary free radical, it has been showing 1-bromo-butane as a major product, that is opposite to Markovnikov's product, that is AMR, anti-Markovnikov's rule they follow. And another product we would get secondary butyl bromide. It is a minor product, because of here we would get free radical, that is primary gives minor products. Therefore, it is Markovnikov's and anti-Markovnikov's rule it follows, and these products we would observe from alkenes. Then next step we would take from alcohols. Then alcohol, if we substitute OH with halogen, then halogen derivatives of alkenes we would observe. So therefore, alcohol, when we take alcohol in the presence of hydrogen halide, hydrogen chloride followed by anhydrous zinc chloride. This is called Lucas reagent. By the addition of Lucas reagent, electron pair present on the oxygen donated to zinc, that is Lewis acid, then followed by attacking of, that is positive charge oxygen forms. It cannot stabilize either by, depends on the size of alkyl group, either SN1 or SN2 mechanism it follows, and then corresponding alkyl chloride produced with the separation of H2O, and zinc chloride behaves electron, that is polarization between alkyl as well as oxygen take place in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride. Suppose if you take HBr or HI, do not require any hydrogen chloride, because hydrogen bromide is stronger acid, or hydrogen iodide is still stronger acid. Directly substitution take place with OH, and bromo alkanes or iodoalkanes we will get by this method. Then in the same way, suppose if you take PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. If we add on this, we would get alkyl chloride plus phosphoryl chloride plus HCl. But here, stereochemistry of this alcohol, when we take, if alkyl group is methyl or ethyl, it follows with SN2 mechanism, inversion products we would get. If PCl5, if it is alkyl group is very large or more stabilized carbocation forms, then it follows with SN1 mechanism. Then SN1 mechanism shows racemization, and then there we would observe alkyl chloride shows racemic mixture, dextro plus levo mixture we would get in this conversion. Therefore, then phosphoryl chloride as a byproduct along with hydrochloric acid. Then, in the same way, PCl3. PCl3 also, when we add on the 1 mole of PCl3 requires 3 moles of alcohol and 3 moles of alkyl chloride and POH thrice. That is orthophosphoric acid. That is H3PO3 product we will get. Then in the same way, thionyl chloride. SOCl2 followed by 2 types of reagents are available. Pyridine solvent when we take, or else ether solvent when we take. Pyridine solvent when we take, it follows with SN2 mechanism. Alkyl group is very small and that is stronger base. Then SN2, and if alkyl group is very large or benzyl or allylic or tertiary, then definitely it follows with SN1 mechanism and converted into alkyl chloride. And pure form of alkyl chloride we would get because of sulfur dioxide as well as HCl absorbed by pyridine, and then alkyl chlorides are highly pure form of alkyl chlorides we would get. Then suppose if you take ether solvent when we take it is a weak base, and weak base means here substitution, like say SN2 mechanism it follows, but instead of in SN2 mechanism we would have the inversion product, but that is substitution nucleophilic internal mechanism, that is retention configuration products. Suppose if the alkyl halide is, if it is a solid base, then it is the product in the presence of thionyl chloride followed by ether when we take, we would observe in retention configuration of alkyl, alcohol has been converted into, it has been converted into inversion, that is retention products. Same, whatever the configuration here it is there, same configuration we would get, that has been showing SNI mechanism. Ether is a weak base. Whenever we take weak bases, they follow internal mechanism, that is substitution nucleophile with internal mechanism it follows, and corresponding alkyl chlorides are produced by this method. Therefore, from alcohols we can prepare various alkyl halides by using these methods. Then alkyl halides also we can prepare by halide exchange method. Fourth method we would take halide exchange method. Halide exchange here we would observe 2 types of reactions. Schwarz reaction. Then in Schwarz reaction we would observe a formation of fluoroalkenes. Say, suppose when we take alkyl chloride reacts with sodium iodide. I'm sorry. Then here silver fluorides or mercurous fluorides or cobalt fluoride. Any one of these fluorides when we take, fluorine can exchange any CCl4 or any non-polar solvents. Then alkyl fluoride plus silver chloride separates, or mercurous fluoride or cobalt fluoride we can separate by using of this method. Halogen exchanges with fluorine is called Schwarz reaction. And in the same way, alkyl bromides in the presence of sodium iodide, followed by, definitely here we need acetone solvent. Here any non-polar solvent. Acetone solvent by refluxing then it is converted into alkyl iodides, then sodium bromide separates. Here, one concept you should remember: in acetone, sodium iodide dissolves. Therefore, iodine exchanges bromine or similarly chlorine. But if you take sodium chloride or sodium bromide, they cannot dissolve in acetone. Therefore, such kind of chlorides or bromides cannot exchange. Therefore, only in this reaction, this is called Finkelstein reaction. In this Finkelstein reaction, Schwarz as well as second one is called Finkelstein reaction. Then in this reaction, only iodides are exchanges with chlorine or bromine, but not flow. That is chlorine. That is sodium chloride or sodium bromide. When you take it, cannot dissolve in non-polar solvent. Exchange reactions are not possible. Then that is another reaction. Then halide exchange also we can identify with another reaction that is called Hunsdiecker reaction. Then in Hunsdiecker reaction we can take that reaction, we can identify any silver fatty acids RCOO Ag, that is silver fatty acid, reacts with bromine, followed refluxing with a non-polar solvent like acetone or chloroform. By heating, carbon dioxide eliminates with the formation of alkyl bromide, silver bromide, plus carbon dioxide separates by free radical mechanism. So therefore, then this alkyl bromide formation, it follows with the free radical mechanism, but more preferred to primary than secondary than tertiary was identified for Hunsdiecker reaction. Suppose if you take iodine here, then we cannot get iodoalkanes, but it is converted into ester formation we would observe. With the formation of silver iodide and carbon dioxide, 2 moles we have to take at that moment because of larger size of iodine. It cannot allow direct attacking on alkyl group. Then it is being converted into from 1 mole carbon dioxide eliminates, but another mole attacks with alkyl group, and there we would observe ester formation. We would observe it is called Simonini reaction. It is another kind of reaction we would observe in this. It is not at all. It is called Hunsdiecker. It is called the Simonini reaction we would observe. So therefore, these are the methods of preparation of haloalkenes we would observe. Haloarenes, when we come across preparation of haloarenes, main methods we would observe. First one we can take from benzene. From benzene, when we take benzene, reacts with chlorine or bromine or iodine. In the presence of anhydrous, zinc chloride or aluminum chloride or ferric chloride without any anhydrous, then they are converted into chloro-bromo or iodobenzene. So therefore, haloarene we were getting by this method. Then in the same way, suppose if you take aniline, by the addition of NaNO2 plus HCl refluxing on ice bath, it has been converted into benzene diazonium chloride. Diazo group stabilizes with benzene and sodium chloride separates. Diazo group stabilizes with benzene. Same method we cannot observe with this primary amine or primary amines cannot give more stabilized diazo group, and then this kind of method we cannot observe for haloalkenes. Benzene diazonium chloride then now by various methods like Q plus chloride followed by concentrated HCl, then chlorobenzene we would observe, then Q plus bromide followed by HBr has been converted into bromobenzene. Suppose if you take Q plus iodides, Cu to I, 2 or Cui followed by Hi, then very difficult to get it. Therefore, cuprous cyanides, Cu to Cn twice, then followed by HCN, then we would get cyanobenzene. But indirectly, that is phenylnitriles are produced, but it cannot come under preparation of these methods. And this method of preparation is called, what do you say, nitrogen as a byproduct we would get. And these methods of preparation, we would take it as Sandmeyer reaction. Then this Sandmeyer reaction gives haloarenes formation. Instead of cuprous chloride, cuprous bromide, or cuprous cyanide, suppose if you take copper powder, then followed by HCl or HBr or HCN, then same products we would get with a higher yield of products. Copper powder when we take, then higher yield we would get than Sandmeyer reaction, and then it is called a Gattermann reaction. Then by using of Gattermann reaction, we would get these products, and then this is another method of preparation of haloarene we would observe. Then in the same way, suppose when we take benzene diazonium chloride, in the presence of potassium iodide followed by refluxing, then it is converted into iodobenzene plus nitrogen gas separates with potassium chloride. Therefore, this is simple method of preparation of iodobenzene we can identify by using of this method. Sandmeyer or Gattermann reaction cannot allow preparation of this iodobenzene by using of this method. So therefore, then haloarene simply we can prepare by these methods. Then what are the properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes? Then properties when we come across, then there we can identify the properties. There we can identify first type nucleophilic substitution reactions. Then iodoalkanes are more reactive than bromoalkanes, than chloroalkanes, than fluoroalkanes. So therefore, nucleophiles generally we can identify aqueous sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. And suppose when we take alkyl bromides or iodides are more reactive than bromides than chlorides. Chlorides are difficult to take place with nucleophilic substitution. Say NaOH in aqueous medium. In aqueous medium always OH minus nucleophile easily releases and it is converted into alcohol. Then sodium bromide separates. Suppose if alkyl group is that we would take as N-propyl bromide. Then in aqueous medium, OH minus releases, then it has been converted into, it is a primary preferred to, then primary means let we would take primary alkyl halide or secondary alkyl halides are preferred to a SIM2 mechanism. Now let me would take this is for stereochemistry explanation. Then when we add here, we would observe the inversion product of OH minus substitutes and secondary butyl alcohol we would get. Then it follows with a SIM2 mechanism. In mechanism when we take in a SIM2 mechanism, then this is bromine. Polarization is very difficult and separation is very difficult. This bromine substitution with nucleophile. Therefore, OH minus attacks on the backside of the carbon that we can identify OH group as well as bromine as well as OH strength because of OH minus is stronger nucleophile than bromide. Therefore, transition state we would observe in this case. In this transition state, carbon shows pentavalency. Therefore, bromine slowly releases. Then here we would observe RDS. Therefore, nucleophile as well as alkyl halide both are involved. Therefore, it is a bimolecular reaction and it is been converted into inversion product, which OH group. Therefore, this is been observed as SN2 mechanism. SN2 mechanism always preferred to non-polar solvents or aprotic solvents, and then inversion products you get by SN2 mechanism. Suppose if alkyl group is very large, say if in a conversion of this product, if alkyl group is very large, do you mean say this is the given compound 2-bromo 3-methyl butane in the presence of OH, this because of bigger alkyl group is there, and stabilized carbocations exist. Therefore, here in this mechanism, we can absorb both the products we will get, OH, and 3 products we will get indirectly here, and 1 more OH, and 3rd OH we will get with the retention and inversion products. Then it has been showing SN1 mechanism, and this product shows what you say rearrangement products. Then mechanism will be there, we can identify like this: generation of carbocation after separation, and then there OH kinase before going to attack over it, 1,2 hydrides shift to take place, neighboring group participation, and this is secondary and it is tertiary group also. And attacking of OH, whenever carbocation stabilizes, definitely we would observe polar protic solvent as well as carbocation or planar carbon, and whenever planar carbon exists, SN1 mechanism starts. And then here one kind of product we would observe, there is no stereochemistry, that is by bond-ion formula. And if it is secondary, because 100% cannot convert into tertiary, and remaining, then in this way these 2 products we will get. Therefore, then carbocation, planar carbon, carbocation wherever they are stabilized, bigger alkyl group or benzyl or allyl groups are there, or else cyclopropyl methyl groups are there, definitely SN1 mechanism follows, and these are the products we are getting by SN1 mechanism. Then suppose instead of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, then there we would take potassium cyanide. Then cyanide is a stronger nucleophile, and then there we would observe, again mechanisms are similar, depends on the alkyl group, either SN1 or SN2 mechanism they follow, and then corresponding potassium group. Suppose if you take silver cyanide, if you add, because of this is a covalent compound, it is ionic compound. Ionic means nitrogen is stronger, and there we would observe carbon substituted with bromine. Here, the covalent bond exists between silver and cyanide. From nitrogen side onwards, it replaces, and isocyanides are produced. Then, suppose if you take sodium nitrite, then sodium nitrite, when we take oxygen, is more electronegative than nitrogen, and then there we would observe RON. Alkyl nitrites are produced with separation of silver, sodium bromide. Therefore, then here we would observe alkyl nitrites. Suppose when we take silver nitrites, that means double bond O, dative bond oxygen. And here electron pair, because there is no free of these oxygen centers, then ultimately alkyl nitroalkanes are produced. This nucleophile here for breaking very difficult, from the electron pair donates to alkyl group. Again, mechanism depends on the size of alkyl group, either SN1 or SN2 mechanism. And in the same way, that we would see other nucleophiles. Alkoxy group, if we add over it, then say sodium alkoxides. Then any length of sodium alkoxide, it is converted into ether. Primary alkyl halide, it should not be tertiary. It should be primary or less steric intense alkyl group. Then it is converted into ether with the separation of sodium. If alkyl group is very big, then elimination reaction takes place. And alkoxy is a strong nucleophile. Then more more stronger base than hydroxy. Therefore, ether's formation we would observe, and the same reaction we would observe in ether's preparation as Williamson synthesis. Suppose if alkyl group is very large, like tertiary butyl, instead of getting tertiary butyl is there means there is no question of formation of ether. Their elimination reaction take place by even mechanism. So therefore, then only any length of alkyl group, here alkyl may be any length, and here alkyl should be primary, and then corresponding ethers are produced by this method. Therefore, Williamson synthesis gives ether formation, but restriction is this in alkyl halides, alkyl should be a primary or least steric in this alkyl. Then only we would get this kind of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Then next one we would take second kind of property that is related to reduction. And here we would observe reduction. Do you mean addition of hydrogen or else a removal of halogen? Say alkyl halides in the presence of two nascent hydrogens, like sodium amalgam in HCl or else zinc copper couple followed by acetic acid. If we add, then halogen separated with hydrogen, one of the nascent hydrogen, and then corresponding alkanes are produced with the separation of hydrogen halides. Suppose if the reducing agent we would take it as triphenyl tinhydride TPH. This alkyl may be primary, secondary, or tertiary. All they are converted into alkanes with the reduction triphenyl tinhydrides. Three phenyl groups are there on the tin with hydrogen and converted into this alkene production we would observe either primary, secondary, or tertiary. Suppose if you take lithium aluminum tetrahydride. Lithium aluminum tetrahydride when we take primary as well as secondary reduces to alkanes, but tertiary when we take it is converted into tertiary means tertiary butyl if you take, when it is converted into alkene, that is isobutene we will get. That much capacity do not have for lithium aluminum tetrahydride for the reduction to alkanes. Then if reducing agent using as sodium borohydride is also nascent hydrogen donor, and there we would observe primary as well as secondary reduce, that is secondary as well as tertiary reduces to alkane, but primary no reaction. So therefore, reduction of these alkyl halides to alkanes we would observe by using of these kind of reactions. Then third type of reaction we would take, that is elimination. Elimination, it follows with E1, E2 and E1 CBE type of mechanisms. Suppose you take E1 mechanism or E1 or E2 mechanism. Say, let generally elimination we would take. Elimination means alpha position halogen and beta position hydrogen eliminated in the form of hydrogen halides in the presence of various eliminating reagents. Say, let me would take 2-bromo-butane in the presence of alcoholic KOH. Then it is converted into 2-butene as the major product and 1-butene as the minor product. Then it follows with the Shetjeff's rules. It follows with the Shetjeff's rules because of alcohol is this is alcoholic KOH. Steric index of KOH is very small. Whenever steric index of base is very small, it follows with the Shetjeff's rule. That is how this mechanism exactly takes place. Say, let me take 2-bromobutane, and in the presence of KOH, whenever strong bases are there, KOH when we add or OH minus when we add, then this is alpha position and these two are beta positions. Then alpha beta elimination take place in this reaction. Then in this reaction, say let me take the here hydrogen is there and here also there are 3 hydrogens. Then whenever here initially bromine Br minus, suppose H plus eliminates, Br minus means more stability, alkene we would observe has more substituted alkene, double bond carbon, 2 methyl groups are there, it gives more stability. Therefore, 2-butene gives major products. And suppose alpha hydrogen is there towards right side, and there we would observe 1-butene, that is this alpha and beta hydrogen may be eliminated either side, and it gives less substituted, only alkyl, one alkyl group is there, it gives lesser stability, that is 1-butene we would get this compound. Therefore, this is minor and it is major product we are getting by this way. Suppose instead of this compound, then when we take tertiary butoxide, sodium tertiary butoxide or potassium tertiary butoxide, more steric in its base, it is also a stronger base. Then reverse products would take. That is, major would become minor and minor would become major, because this is would become major. Why it is like this? Then that is not following with Sedgwick's rule. Here we would observe Hoffman's rule. Then Hoffman says, then whenever more steric in its base exists, difficult to remove from the beta position hydrogen from the middle of the compound. Terminal hydrogen's removal is very much easier. The मोटा size है बोले तो अंदर जाना मुश्किल है और बाहर से निकलना बहुत easy होगा. So that is why Hoffman accepted from the side due to stronger or more steric indense base, even though it is more stronger than OH minus, and removal from terminal position is very much easier. Therefore, it gives major and this gives minor product, that is called elimination reaction by using of this one. Then in this elimination, whenever if alkyl group is more stabilized with carbocation, alkyl group is more stabilized with carbocation, then definitely it follows with the even elimination method. And if alkyl group cannot stabilize or no carbocations are generated, alpha beta elimination directly take place, then there we would observe U2 elimination. Both the molecules, nucleophile as well as then substrate, both are involved in the reaction, then it gives U2 elimination. And carbocation formation, it shows even elimination, then by unimolecular mechanism we would observe by that method. And base, if it is alkoxy, sodium alkoxy group is there, base cannot stabilize. And carbanion mechanism, if it follows, even CB mechanism will be observed. Carbanion, if it follows, then alkoxy converted into carbanion after removal of halogen, because the halogen cannot remove alpha position to, that is beta position to halogen, H plus ion eliminated by alkoxy group. Then there we would observe even CB mechanism. Those are related to elimination reactions. Then reaction with metals. 4 type of reactions we would observe as metals reactions. Say, then alkyl halides. Alkyl halides in the presence of sodium metal followed by dry ether converted into twice the number of alkanes is called Wurtz reaction. And then in the same way, then alkyl halides, symmetric alkyl halides are there, Wurtz reaction is more preferred. And asymmetric alkyl halides are there. Say, asymmetric alkyl halides, we mean one is there as methyl chloride and another one is there ethyl chloride. Say, one is methyl chloride and another one is there with ethyl chloride. At this moment, follows either ionic or free radical mechanism. We will get we would get propane plus ethane plus butane, we would get mixture of alkanes we would get. To avoid it, then Corey-House synthesis is more preferred. In Corey-House synthesis, say methyl, when we take dialkyl lithium cuprate is called Gilman's reagent. We will get this by methyl bromide reacts with lithium metal, alkyl lithium, then addition of copper, it is converted into Gilman's reagent. Gilman's reagent, if it reacts with ethyl chloride, it has been converted into propane. Only one product. By this mixture of alkanes, we can avoid by using Poré-Haus synthesis. This reaction is called Poré-Haus, ethyl and methyl. And both are converted into propane. Then to avoid that reaction, mixture of alkanes we can avoid in Wurtz reaction by using Poré-Haus synthesis. That is one reaction we would observe. In the same way, Grignard's reactions, when we take any length of alkyl halide, alkyl halides are more reactive with magnesium than bromides than chlorides. Therefore, addition of magnesium metal followed by dry ether converted into alkyl magnesium halides. Alkyl magnesium halides are called Grignard's reagents. And those Grignard's reagents by the addition of active hydrogen donors. Active hydrogen donor they mean water, alcohol, ammonia, terminal alkynes. Those compounds they are converted into alkanes. Suppose if you add formaldehyde, converted in formaldehyde, then followed by hydrolysis gives primary alkyls. Aldehydes followed by hydrolysis converted into secondary alcohols. Ketones followed by hydrolysis converted into tertiary alcohols. And alkyl formates, esters. Alkyl formates they are converted into secondary alcohols, and other esters they are converted into tertiary alcohols. With Grignard's reagents, we can observe those kind of reactions from alkyl halides, and that is another reaction we would observe with magnesium metal. So then in the same way, lastly we would observe haloarine properties. Then haloarine properties when we come across, then haloarenes we mean, say, suppose when we take chloro or bromo or iodo benzene, then this is again reacting with sodium metal. There in Wurtz reaction in alkanes we would observe, instead of dryness, if it is there any wetness, then definitely we would get alcohol. Wetness means water. And dryness, that is dry ether liquid. In ether, any quantity of little amount of water is there, then definitely it cannot give alcohols or burning take place without formation of twice the number of alkanes. And here, suppose if you take methyl bromide or methyl chloride followed by dry ether, then it is converted into toluene. Then this is related to Wurtz and it is related to Fittig reaction. Then this reaction is called Wurtz-Fittig reaction. Then instead of this, suppose if you take 2 moles of chlorobenzene, then followed by dry ether, then biphenyls are produced. Then this is called Fittig reaction. Then instead of this chlorobenzene, it has been converted into this product. Instead of chloro or bromo, suppose if it is there iodobenzene, no need of, because sodium always more explosive. That is why copper metals are used. By using of copper metal, it is also converted into biphenyl. Then this reaction we would observe Ullmann reaction. Ullmann. Ullmann reaction we would observe, and there we would observe formation of biphenyl or diphenyl formation reaction we would observe in this reaction. That is a haloarine property. Then in the same way, chlorobenzene or else bromobenzene in the presence of sodium hydroxide and at 320 degrees centigrade and 300 atmosphere pressure, Dow's process take place, and through benzyne mechanism, sodium phenoxide form. And here we would observe benzyne mechanism. Alpha position hydrogen and chlorine eliminates in benzyne form, and then that has been again attacking of ONA, sodium phenoxide form, on acidification from its Cl is converted into phenol. Direct phenol formation is very difficult from haloarenes. Because of sp2 hybridization, carbon attaches to chlorine means substitution is very difficult by using a Dow's process, we can convert this into phenol from chlorobenzene. Then, in the same way, chlorobenzene, chlorine is a positive mesomeric and negative inductive. Therefore, chlorine is a positive mesomeric and negative inductive group. Therefore, positive mesomeric because of double bond, single bond, double bond. Benzene is a resonance. Mesomeric is more preferred. At alkylation, arylation, or acylation reactions take place at para gives major product and ortho gives minor products. Say methyl chloride by the addition of chlorobenzene, mixture of para-methyl chlorobenzene plus orthomethyl chlorobenzene we will get. So therefore, acylation, arylation reactions also we can identify on this haloarenes. That is another property we can identify with the haloarene. Then in the same way, here we could observe, suppose benzyl mechanism. What do you mean? What is that benzyl mechanism? Then here we take, this is chlorobenzene, addition of sodium for sodamide or sodium in the presence of liquid ammonia. Then we take here hydrogen available, here also hydrogen available. Then here it has been converted into, because of stronger base, it cannot remove directly chlorine. Substitution is very difficult. Whenever it is not possible with us, if for fighting with anyone, then indirectly we will start fighting with the person. Then in the same way, your haloarene also, direct chlorine substitution is very difficult. That is why H plus ion elimination takes place from this place, and it has been converted into benzene, benzyne formation. And here chlorine is there with double bond, hydrogen minus charge is there. Then it is converted into Cl minus element, indirectly substituting chlorine with this one. So direct possible nayo soda might say, even though very strong base, benzyne formation. Here the after formation of benzyne, say it is first position and it is second position. Then here addition of any other water. Then same position, direct substitution. You could observe phenol and same water. Then adjacent position formation is called sign substitution reaction. Then haloarenes always refer to sign substitution, means adjacent position substitution is very easier than direct position substitution. So suppose any groups are there here, like methyl, then this would become major products and this would become minor products. Therefore, sign substitution is major and direct substitution, this is direct and it is sign substitution. Then sign substitution always give minor product. Through benzyne mechanism it is possible. Benzyne, what do you mean? What is benzyne? Benzyne carbons undergo sp2 hybridization. Due to sp2 hybridized orbitals, sideways overlap to give triple bond, but not sp hybridization takes place in this benzyne. Only sp2 hybridized carbons we would observe in entire benzyne. All carbons, due to sp2 hybridized orbitals, sideways overlap take place in benzyne. So therefore, benzyne mechanism always show sign substitution, and then these products we will get by using of these reactions. So therefore, that is another kind of reactions we would observe with respect to this benzene. The same way, then these haloarenes are producing in this specific manner, and that is a little bit helpful. All of you students, please go through carefully every word of me, and then definitely would success. Thank you for everyone for learning some important tips for tomorrow's exam. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for watching.